Last 24 hours have been so exciting. I've been paying attention to the GTA 6 map to try to pinpoint exactly what are the new locations that we know now. If you just pay attention to all the images that have been released, they have updated a lot of details. I mean, if you just pay attention to the surroundings, it's very clear to see that there is a lot more terrains, there's a lot more geography, and a lot more things to be added onto the GTA 6 map that we already know. Let me tell you one thing, all of these things added together, if you just pay attention to the entire video, you're going to be very excited to find out that the map of GTA 6 might be nearly 6 times bigger than GTA 5. There's just so many images to uncover and place exactly where these locations are on the map. It's just so fun. That's what I'm going to say. Maybe in the video it might seem like I'm skimming through some of the information, but when I was actually doing my background research, let's just say I've seen pretty much every single pixel of every single image. Now, while we're waiting for GTA 6, if you guys want to get yourself some cheap, easy, quick cash on GTA 5 online, I highly recommend you go and check out Eldorado. For like $35, you can get yourself like $100 million or even $200 million. If you don't want to check them out, the link will be in my bio. At checkout, use code SKY and you guys will get a 5% extra discount. Super reliable. They've been in business for over 10 years. Go ahead and check them out. Now, boys and girls, let me just tell you one thing. Keep watching the video till the end, because in the end, I will uncover some crazy details that you would not want to miss out. And other than that, let's get straight into it. So boys and girls, now let's get into the details. What to expect from the layout of GTA 6 map. I know a lot of you guys have so many questions. What kind of terrains? What kind of geography? What will be the size of the map? Well, let me try to answer some questions for you and try to relate it with all the information that's been laid out to us in the last 24 hours. First of all, something that we already knew before was there's going to be two large cities. One of them is going to be Vice City and the second one is going to be Port Gellhorn. Now, let's look at the images which were released in the last 24 hours to give you a little bit of perspective. The first city, which was obviously the largest city of the entire map, is going to be Vice City. And this image, personally, is the best defining image that we will see in the entire hemisphere when it comes to GTA 6. And after that, this one gives you a little bit of perspective. If you remember trailer 1, the image was, or the gameplay where it starts off, was actually filmed from the sea and you're able to see towards the city. So this is going to be one of the hotels and gives you perspective that people will be able to get onto the balcony and actually see exactly what's happening at the bottom. If you look at the pool, it also looks very pretty, and this should give you perspective that they must be in one of these buildings which has a pool right under it. This is from a different angle, and one thing which I've actually noticed is if you pay attention on the right bottom, there is a guy which is trying to run away from the cops while his friend, who's also gotten out of the same car, has surrendered. So will this give us a little bit of opportunity to be able to surrender, unlike just get shot in GTA 5? At the same time, if you pay attention to some of the civilians, like the ones in the bus, also ones over there and one over here in the blue, they're all paying attention to what's actually happening. So what will be like the radius in terms of that will be affected from some sort of activity that's happening with the cops. At the same time, this image is just portraying two different characters which could be playing a very crucial role in the storyline, and this is going to be the beach, which I just showed you guys in the first image. This is the beach that this picture is taken on, and it also gives you perspective that the characters are going to be much more lightened because they're going to be much more interactive, and his grandpa is obviously checking out something that he should not be because his wife is right next to him. Also, there is this guy who's using a metal detector to try to find some sort of gold while the lifeguard is paying attention to, and there is the lifeguard buggy. Now, one thing that is for sure is most of the characters are going to be a lot more enlightened and actually paying attention to their surroundings. This is another picture which will give you perspective that there will be some sort of social media in GTA 5 where, let's just say, TikTokers or YouTubers will be doing dumb pranks to try to get more attention. If there's going to be some sort of social media that you can actually grow on by posting photos and things like that, that would be a very good interaction, or you can say inclusion of the entire place. And if you pay attention, this is still Vice City and gives you perspective that the Vice City has much more wider view. Now you have a little bit of understanding. If I just show you over here, most of those things, so where the beach and all the hotels were taken around in this area, while if you talk about the city, it would be more taken in this area. So that's why the Vice City or the city is going to be quite big, and this is going to give you perspective because that's going to be pretty much around this area, so you would be able to see all the roads in the far, and obviously the water is in the center. And this is going to be pretty much, you can say, under the bridge where they do graffiti, also stunts relating to bikes, and also there are some cars which are very beautiful, such as the lowrider. Also, I really like this dog, which is actually sitting with a homeless person. There's also another car over there which looks really nice, and you guys can see that in the first trailer they did show us stunts that were performed by this group of people, and those people have made it into the second cut. This clearly suggests that there will be something relating to a strip club, and this is a biker gang that will be relating to, let's just say, our boys in Vice City. But overall, you can see now you have a little bit of more understanding that Vice City will be the right side of the map that would be paying a very close attention to. On the other end, the other city that was mentioned was Ambrosia. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but it clearly gives you perspective that Ambrosia is going to be more like a little town. And if you pay attention to the terrains of the town, it's very clear that there's going to be a lot of water around it. And at the same time, there's going to be a lot of biker gangs, to be more precise, and that's obviously going to have a lot of farms. Now, if you pay attention to the entire map, most likely where it will make sense to have that kind of terrains and also would be somewhere in Leonida. Like, that's just an estimate, and it should also be able to build something there where the terrains are closer to the water, or this water stream is something that can be seen over here. So this is the water stream that can also be seen like this. So this just makes sense to have a little town somewhere here which will be pretty much ruled by biker gangs, and it makes sense because there will be smaller cities which will be actually much more closer. If you pay attention to the right bottom, you can see that there is a van which used to be like a cash van in GTA 5, but now it looks like more like a delivery van. And at the same time, there's obviously more people which are doing a car wash. So overall, this city is going to be quite small, and personally I do not think that it's going to hold such a big significance to the entire map. Talking about GrassRivers. Now, GrassRivers is also going to be a different type of city, but this will be more closer to the water, like very heavily. So I feel like Grasswater will be somewhere more on the southern coast compared to the northern coast, and Grasswater would be very, very strongly connected to the water. And you see how the islands are split in the middle, pretty much like a swamp. So that's exactly the same idea, where you guys can see the wildlife institution, and also trailer 1 could be somewhere here. So it gives you perspective that Grasswater will be around that area, and Grasswater is going to include like crocodiles, alligators, and pretty much reminding you of Florida. I've never been to America, but I know all the terrains, and it makes very strongly sense. Reminds you of Red Dead as well, and you guys can see that there is a lot of alligators. They're actually catching alligators if you pay attention, and that's why maybe the cops are after them for illegal catching. And this is another example. This was also included in the first trailer, where there was like a boat which was being run by a very big fan on the back, and that's exactly what we see over there. And they're pretty much doing illegal capture, and that's why the police are after them. So currently that's pretty much where all the map would be expanding for now when it comes to GrassRivers, and after that would be Leonida Keys. Now, Leonida Keys is actually quite easy to find because this one, that's the big bridge, and if you talk about the big bridge, it's pretty much like bang on here, and that bridge is going to be pretty much on the bottom, and that's going to give you perspective in terms of that's where it would be expanding, and that's where it would be. And this one gives you a little bit of more perspective that this town is going to be less criminal related. It's going to be more like old people which are just trying to, you know, go skydiving and things like that, and that's like a little adventure town. That's probably the best word to do, where there will be a lot of tourists. And if you pay attention down here on the left bottom, you can see that there is a shark under this boat, and let's just say that shark is not very, very scared of this person, and that shark can have some sort of attack. Also, these boats, you would be able to, you know, drive them around. It looks like from a lot of gameplay, it's very clear that they are trying to allow for movement of large yachts as well, unlike GTA 5 where you just select the location and it will just be moved. And if you do go to like these kinds of locations where, you know, it's a touristy place, you will be able to have a lot of fun with your boat. And seeing how much water there is around the whole map, boats are going to be quite a huge part of this game as compared to GTA 5, while the central area barely has any water. Now, this Leonida Keys, I personally feel like will be really fun for the people who just want to stay away. And then talking about the mountain, Kälga National Park. Now this one is also not very hard to find because mountains are going to be in this area. Pretty much like this coast is going to have a very strong mountain area, and if you look at the mountain areas, it's very clear that there will be a lot of dirt related activities. There's also news that's too scared to go on the ground as they expect there might be a little bit of crime that can get them into trouble, and there might be a lot of hunting. Now this, in my opinion, is by far the best image of the entire last 24 hours relating to GTA 6 because it just looks so beautiful. If someone tells me anything else, I'm not gonna relate. That's all I'm gonna say. And this is another big cat that's on the right hand side. Overall, the terrains look like they're pretty much in the middle of the mountain, so it should be somewhere between Kelly and Leonid. I mean, it is Leonida Keys, that's why I'm saying like there is a chance. That's all I'm trying to say. And also there will be, you know, hunting most likely, and at the same time we might be able to experience like animals just like in Red Dead, which actually is so exciting because if you haven't played Red Dead, you missed out on a lot of amazing graphics. And you might be able to go canoeing. Now canoeing could be extremely fun because personally I think it's just very exciting to go canoeing. That's just my opinion. And other than that, I think this city will be quite slow. That's what I'm gonna say. And finally is the port, Gellhorn. Well, that's already been labeled right here, which is the second largest city, and you can see that it's very similar to Vice City but just a little bit less developed. That would be the word. And a lot of crime in terms of relating to drugs. Now, new girls, new food, open all night, hiring dancers, and you guys can see it's very clear what kind of direction this specific one is going. So overall, these screenshots do portray a lot of things in terms of what's going to be expected of the map, and I personally do see that the map is going to get a little bit more expanded, and honestly in the next coming, like let's say week or two, I would be able to give you a lot more clear idea in terms of what's where, and you will be able to see like exact photos in terms of what to expect in each area. But overall, you can see that there is a Kingslayer, Charters, Pier 98, Dan's Pawn Shop, Ferris Wheel, and there's going to be Coyote, and these are all things which are seen from the background. Now overall, I'm very excited to see what kind of an update this will have, but that's exactly what we know so far, and these photos definitely give you a lot more insight in terms of what to expect from the map. But other than that, thank you for watching the video. I hope you had a good time. I hope you have a good time ahead, and I'll see you soon.